Thank you. All right, my brother. Apparently, you had some shape-shifting, mind-altering experiences this past weekend, and I want to hear about it, my brother. So, give me the lowdown on the vegan scene in Long Island. What's happening?
You're making it seem bigger than it really is. I mean,
Dude.
so what happened was I was watching you know Bananiac.
Yeah, yeah.
I was watching his video, and he got like a nice deal on some local organic produce because he had a farmer's market near him. And I was like, I should like look up some farmers markets near me. And lo and behold, I found one that was a couple towns away from me.
Dude.
Yeah, so it was only about like a 15-minute drive, and they didn't. It was weird. It was outside of a bakery in the parking lot. It's not an actual farm I was going to. They get the crops from like another town that's more east on Long Island. Um,
How did the produce look?
well, it didn't it looked like any other produce you see in the supermarket.
Dude, it didn't look like higher quality or anything.
You know what? I just started eating vegetables like a year ago, so I really wouldn't know.
Dude, thank you for your honesty. Yeah. What I've noticed is when you go to these farmers markets and stuff, I mean, it's not always true, but oftentimes the quality will be superior to what you see in a grocery store.
I
But
I am
but
hoping.
you know, that's not a given by any means.
The woman that owns the market, she mentioned that most stuff in the supermarket is sometimes the produce like comes from China or something, and they who knows what they spray on those things. And
Yeah, that's true.
so this farm, it she said they didn't spray, but of course, I can't be sure, but I mean, from what I've tasted, everything tasted really great. Like um I had the tomatoes were really sweet, and I had corn, which I haven't had corn like on a cob in probably like 3 years.
Wow.
So yeah, I just steamed that up with some of the potatoes I got. I was just like picking stuff out. I'm like, yeah, I don't know what I'm gonna get, and there I'm just like walking around, and they're saying
Dude,
like,
I
oh, we
love
got,
it, man.
yeah, and
I
they're like,
love it.
we have this. I'm like, yeah, okay, okay. I just kept walking around, like, and then in my head, I'm like, what the hell is this stuff?
Dude,
Because
was it expensive?
no, that was the so let me tell you, they were trying to tell me what everything was. They're like, we got peppers, and in my head I'm like, well, I don't even know how to cook that. And then they were offering me like raw honey, and the guy, I'm just like trying to like change the subject.
Dude.
I'm like, yeah, dude, I don't need any honey.
You didn't want to go into the whole vegan thing, did you? You just like
No, no, it's so weird because they're talking about barbecuing and meat, and it's just you have to, I don't know, you have to just introduce yourself like totally different.
Oh
That
man, this is a great thing, Nick. You're gonna run into this. There are some farmers who grow beautiful produce, and yet they also eat a lot of crap.
Yeah.
So you gotta kind of play the field, so to speak. But I hear you, man. But
I,
you'll
I was,
this is your first time. Go to like a lot of different farmers markets. It'll start to feel more normal, and it's a lot more. It's really, especially when the weather's nice, it's a much more beautiful experience than a grocery store.
I've been to one before that was even closer to me, but like I only went there once, and I didn't. That was my first one, so that's probably why I didn't really enjoy it that much. I
Yeah,
didn't, and there's the produce was a lot more than this recent one. It cost more. So, but then they packed up and moved to like a totally different town further away from me. So this is one I found recently is like the only one near me now. But I just went there on a whim. Like I was just like, oh, I found it the day before on Google, and then I just decided to go there right after I was done skating. So I'm just like looking around at the stuff. They're watching me and saying like, oh, what are you looking for in particular? I'm like, I don't know really. Because they had like a whole ton of apples, and like I don't like apples, so she was like trying to tell me about the different kinds. I was like, oh wow, that's great.
all right. Well, this is one of the cool things, Nick. When you go to these farmers markets, it's kind of an opportunity to try things you've never tried. And one of the reasons you may not like apples is that, most of what you find in the grocery store is like red delicious, golden delicious. I mean, that's
Oh no, that I've tried locally grown apples before. It's just every apple like I'll try like organic Granny Smith or whatever, and they just don't digest good for me.
okay. Okay.
Feels like a
Have you ever
knife
tried a
going down
gala?
my stomach or something.
Have you ever tried a gala apple?
Yeah, I've tried those.
All right. Well, and it's an interesting you're bringing this up because apples really are not comparable to something like even an orange or a mango in terms of nutritional satisfaction. But once in a while, I think apples are cool, and you can sometimes do. What's cool is if you throw a little bit of apple in a salad, or if you're eating a little bit of cooked food, you can bake apples, which is not bad. Baked apples can be good if you're cool with cooked food.
Oh yeah, of course. You know what I used to cut up apples and have them with peanut butter. That was nice, but
Yeah, yeah.
um they it just doesn't. I don't know. It feels very uncomfortable when after I swallow an apple. I don't know.
That could be a chromium thing, man. You might check on that. Sometimes when folks have a chromium deficiency, they'll get issues digesting fruit, and I think I've heard that with apples, but also like large amounts of fruit. Sometimes if there's a chromium deficiency, you get digestive problems.
Oh well, I could be dying of a chromium deficiency then.
Dude, don't don't listen to take my shit with a grain of salt, dude.
Yeah, I know. No, you probably heard that from people in other interviews, I'm guessing.
Yeah, I have. I'm not just pulling it out of thin air.
Yeah, but back to the farmers market. Like I went there and I saw because I've been to a farmers the other farmers market I was talking about that moved. Like they had a machine for credit cards, so they didn't have one at this one, and I was like, oh okay, I don't really have that much money. Like I only had like $25 on me. So I was like,
Yeah.
all right, I gotta go to the ATM down the block. I came back, bought all the stuff. She's weighing it, and then afterwards she's like $23. I'm like, whoa, what? Because I didn't even have to go to the bank. I had enough money I'm thinking it's gonna come out to $60 or $70.
Well, that's good, man. I thought you were going to say it was really expensive because sometimes at a farmer's market you'll find that the produce is more expensive than the grocery store, but the quality is usually higher. So, but that's cool that you felt like it was reasonable. That's good.
Yeah, because I didn't think that. I always thought that it was gonna be cheaper at a farmer's market.
Well, it should be. It should be. But sometimes a lot of these folks are doing organic stuff, and I mean they have a right to charge a little higher for organic. It's more labor intensive, so it's hard to say. Uh, but it's cool. Now, did you when you tried this stuff, when you ate it, were you pleased with the food? Was it good
Oh,
quality?
yeah, yeah. Like I was saying, it was really sweet. It tasted really good. I really enjoyed it.
All right,
I have some. I'm gonna find out about the potatoes because I have some potatoes in the steamer now.
nice.
So I'm gonna try those out. But the corn, the cauliflower, yeah, everything was great.
Dude, how have your brothers been treating you with your vegan thing? They've been giving you a lot of hassle.
You know what my brother says? Cause I have tattoos, and he said, Nick, you want to be healthy, right? meanwhile, he's obese and overweight. So I'm just like, yeah. What do you mean by that? He's like, well, you have tattoos.
So, so
Man.
what? Because you have tattoos, you're not healthy? What's up with
Yeah.
that?
Well, he's only 13 years old, so.
Dude, you're leading the way for him, man. That's cool.
Yeah, I know. My parents, no, nobody wants to listen to me still. They probably all think I'm just skinny because I've always been that way, but
Yeah,
uh it's not just the outside, it's more the inside that counts.
I hear you, man. I hear you. It's challenging. It's challenging.
Because you can have people and they always I always hear like, oh, they're slim in these countries because they're eating refined white rice, but it doesn't mean that they're like healthy necessarily just because you're skinny. Like I know some guy I work with who smokes like a pack a day and meat carnivore, whatever, and he's real thin. So it's kind of a tricky thing. Slim doesn't exactly mean healthy.
Well, that's a great point. I mean, my dad, he loved, meat and fatty foods, and he was a heavy drinker. And in up until about his 50s, it did that he was okay. He was still thin, but then he started to kind of get, one of those paunches and a kind of a belly, and he kept it up, and by the time he passed on, he had all kinds of ailments, man. He was like borderline Parkinson's. He had these freaking polyps in his kidneys. I mean, his liver was shot. He lost all his hair. So, I mean, now I'm, I don't have a full head of hair myself, but I mean, my dad was completely bald. Now
Yeah.
I look bald because I've kind of cut it close, but I've got a receding hairline. But his hair loss was due to medications from like a lot of illnesses.
Yeah,
So
yeah. No, I got you. My grandpa, he was the same way. He was always slim as a kid, and he'd tell me like he ate all the food he wanted to, and he never gained weight. And then all of a sudden, he got older and he gained weight. So he's always telling me that that's gonna happen to me. And it's like I'm not exactly sure that that's gonna be true.
dude,
no,
dude, if you stay on the diet you're on now, you will never be fat. I guarantee it.
I'm never gonna change, and if I do change, it's gonna be for the better. Cause I'm not going. I'm vegan for life, man.
Dude, yeah, yeah. I hear you, man. I mean, yeah. I mean, when you were talking to me about you can't understand dipping bread in olive oil, dude. It's yeah. I mean, you have no problems. Don't worry.
I know.
And hey, you said you went skateboarding the other day. How long were you skateboarding for? How much time?
Oh, let me tell you. The on Saturday it was raining, so my grandma, she shops like every week. It's like a ritual for her.
Yeah.
So on Saturdays she goes to the mall. So it was raining, so I went with her, and we went to Wallbound. It's a conventional like corporate supermarket here. I don't know if you
Yeah.
have Wallbounds near you.
What is it called?
Wallbounds.
Never heard of it.
Okay. so it's kind. You ever heard of Stop and Shop or
Yeah, Stop and Shop I've heard of. We don't have them here, but I've heard of it.
yeah, it's pretty much it's the same principle pretty much. A big
Is it
very
is it kind of like
popular.
wholesale? A little more wholesale?
Yeah, yeah.
Like you can buy stuff in bulk a little more
Oh,
and
no, 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 no,
oh,
not
okay.
not like that. It's just regular, like a retail kind of place, I guess.
But it's different than like a Kroger or an Albertsons or a Safeway.
You know what? I don't even know what those are either. So,
Oh, you don't? Okay.
you
How
know,
about Giant? You guys got Giant up there?
no. Yeah, we
Okay.
we have totally different supermarkets apparently.
Do you have Food Lion?
Oh, okay. I was in North Carolina on vacation recently,
Y-
and they had Food Line, so it's probably the same as a Food Line.
Okay. Okay. Cool. All right.
But it was just awesome because they had um like five different milk alternatives. They had rice, coconut, soy, um,
Cool.
you know, and all kinds of different flavors too. And there was one thing that got my eye, which is weird because I don't usually drink it. It was like this big jug of iced coffee, like mocha flavored, and
Yeah.
it said it's made with almond milk. And I looked at the back, and it said it was vegan too.
Huh.
So sometimes I just like to buy vegan stuff just to support it, like even though it's not that healthy for me.
Dude, that's
I
so cool. That's so cool. Now, when you drank that, did you get like did you kind of get a little jittery?
Yes, I haven't had regular coffee, and I've only probably had regular coffee like 3 times in the last year,
Yeah.
and every time I do, um, it, it, it's insane how like alive I feel. And
Dude,
I
I don't know why, but I never got the coffee bug, thankfully, and I don't. That was never something I felt bad about giving up. I never really understood the draw, but yeah, it's kind of like a mild cocaine, I guess.
it is it totally is a drug because I feel good from it, and then the next morning I'm like, oh, maybe I'll have a little bit of it to get a little bit of a jump start today. But it's like I don't even need it. Like I'm already good, but this just like makes you like insane, like on drugs, kind of. And it really like I haven't skated as long as I did the other day in like a year. It was I was going. I got to the park around 10:30 in the morning, and then I was there till probably 3. And this is just nonstop skating at the park. and
What? So you mean because you drank the coffee, it kind of lessened your energy?
no, 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 the opposite of that. I
Okay, okay,
like I was going what, like 3 to 4 hours without stopping.
okay. Gotcha, gotcha. No,
Yeah.
no, dude, I know it's a long time. I know it's a long time. I was just thinking maybe you go for 6 hours usually.
Oh no no, I'm usually like an hour and a half, and then I'm like, all right, I'm gonna go home to eat or something. Because
Okay.
that's the big thing for me. It suppresses my appetite too. That doesn't happen with everybody, but with me, when I have coffee or iced coffee, something caffeinated, it gets rid of my appetite. Like when I would normally be hungry, like 2 or 3 hours after meal, like I can go like 6 hours after without eating.
Yeah, that's
And
a great point, Nick, because I think a lot of like weightlifters, folks that go to gyms a lot, they take a lot of these caffeine-laced products for that very reason. So, but then you get the inevitable, the downs. I mean, you do it so infrequently that it's probably not a major issue, but I'm sure it rags the kidneys over time.
I know it's always gonna catch up with you. It's like, yeah, I did so much exercise yesterday. I didn't even eat as much as I do on a normal day for me, and it caught up to me because at night I couldn't get to sleep good because
Yeah.
I just expended so much energy and I didn't even eat uh, more than I burned. So it was just so hard to get to sleep, and I was probably laying in bed for like 4 hours awake, listening to videos, trying to put myself to sleep. And you know what put me to sleep? I had some food. I had a couple dates and oatmeal, and then and this is like in like 2 in the morning, and I went right to sleep right after.
That's cool. Hey,
So
how have you been doing on the greens? Have you been eating romaine?
yes, yes. I tried. I made it a goal to have a head of romaine every day.
Cool, man. Cool,
'Cause
man. That's good. That's what I'm trying to do too. Yeah.
I really need the fiber and the roughage for the digestion stuff.
Yeah. Yeah.
But I have I cut out the all the bananas and smoothies in the morning. I stopped doing that. Um,
And what are you doing instead? Are you having oatmeal?
Yep, I'm having just dates in their whole form. Like I'll have like 5 or 6, and then I'll have like a dry cup of oatmeal.
All
But
right.
yeah, I just
And
have
what
dates.
what do you do for lunch, Nick?
Um, it's either potatoes or rice. Those swap interchangeably for lunch and dinner.
And with veggies mixed in, or just straight, or how?
It really depends. So it depends what I have on me. Like I'm really lazy when it comes to doing the food shopping. Like if
I hear you, brother. I hear you, man. Big time.
like I always find the reason just to eat it plain. I'm like, oh, I got beans last week. I'm out. No, I'll just eat it plain today or something like that. Because I usually like having rice with beans and salsa.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then I mean, tonight I'm mixing it up with the vegetables I got at the farmers market because I usually don't really have many vegetables. It's
Dude, have you seen you're familiar with Scooby's site, right?
yeah, yeah, yeah. That
Have
guy's
you seen the one where he does it on like having snacks for yourself throughout the day, and he'll take a can of beans, heat it up, and put a little salsa on it, and that's like a healthy snack. I kind of like that. It's so simple.
I do that sometimes too. I just have the whole can of beans. It has a lot of fiber in it too. So
Hell yeah, yeah.
that's all I'm about is the high fiber diet.
How do you do on digesting beans? Do you have any gaseous consequences?
No, no, not as not. It's the same as any other food I eat, pretty much.
Beautiful, beautiful.
Yeah, I don't never had that problem. Always heard people saying like, they go to Taco Bell and then they shit their brains out right after it. Like that stuff never happens with me. I wish it would, but
Dude.
yeah, I wanna go like 2 times in one day. It rarely happens. I want to get to 2 times now.
Well, man, if you're doing it once a day, you're probably doing it a lot more frequently than a lot of sad diet
Yeah.
eaters.
Yeah, I was reading somewhere on the internet today that like constipation is considered when you go uh three times a week. So I was like,
Yes.
oh, okay, maybe I'm not so bad then.
No, man. Yeah.
But
Hey, have you attended any more meetups? Any more vegan meetups?
no, not anymore after the ones I told you about last time. But I don't know because there weren't any close to me. There was one that was really close, but I was on vacation in North Carolina at the time.
Okay.
You know, if you, it's hard to go to all of them because it's a lot of money. I see myself wasting a lot of money traveling with the gas and making preparing the food for it, and some of them they have an entrance fee.
Oh,
Um,
really? That's crazy. Yeah, that's crazy.
but it's because it's at like some building where you pay to attend like a meeting. Like,
Yeah.
like the last one, like remember the one I told you about with Will Tuttle that I went to see from the
Yeah.
Real Peace Diet? Yeah, like that you have to pay. Like they had like yoga at the beginning, and then they have like a catered lunch. But like
Um,
so it's
that's
like
kind of scammy. Yeah. Yeah.
you pay like $10 just for the speech, and then you'll do like 15 for the lunch, and then
Oh, that's crazy. Yeah. There should be meetups where you don't have to pay anything. That's crazy.
yeah, I mean it's not a lot, but I would be willing to do it. But it's like I can't do it for every single one, you know.
Dude, you could start your own meetup. Now, that does cost something. I mean, if you start your own meetup, there's like a fee you have to pay to meetup.com. But
Yeah,
you could do it, man. You could have people. If your mom like where do you still live in your with your parents?
yeah, yeah.
Because if they would let you do it, you could have it like in your backyard or something, you know.
Oh yeah, I'm sure of it, but I'm not really the kind to organize group meetups like that.
Dude,
I'm not,
you should try it, man. Why not?
it's already been done by the other people in the meetup though. They
Yep.
have like 3 organizers already and
But dude, you could do it and not charge anything, you know?
well no oh no no most of them don't have a charge. It was just that one in particular that does. It's at a certain location where they do that.
Okay.
I guess it's to pay for the lunch and the teachers that come and teach the yoga or you know I I think I think it's to pay off for some of the events that they have there.
Well,
But
yeah, and if they're renting a space, then it's understandable.
yeah, but most of them where you just like meet up somewhere and share food, like those are always free.
That's cool. That's cool.
Yeah. Well, I wanna ask you how your vacation was, because I saw you visited Will. I
Dude,
saw I was blown away by that.
I was seriously thinking of coming over to Long Island and checking you out, man. Would that freak you out if I showed up in Long Island and called you up, man? Because we drove up there and I decided what we did is we drove from Virginia up to Nova Scotia. So this was the deal. I found this ashram up in Nova Scotia. It's like it's one of two ashrams that are devoted to Ramana Maharshi. Ramana Maharshi is this Indian saint who I'm interested in,
Mm-hmm.
and there's an ashram in New York, in Jamaica, Long Island.
Okay, yeah.
Yeah, and there's another one in Nova Scotia, and I was really drawn to check out this place in Nova Scotia, and it turns out that Will, Potato Strong, he's up in frickin', he's not far from there. So I went up to see the ashram, and then on the way back, I drove around near where he lives, and we met, and it was really fun. I had my mom with me, and I met him and his wife. We went out to dinner. It was really nice.
Wow.
And I totally recommend, dude, Nova Scotia is beautiful. It's really beautiful. And, Canada is so less populated than the United States. It's just really lovely. Leaves were just starting to turn. Probably right now it's awesome. But when we were up there, they were just starting to turn a little bit. And this Bay of Fundy, we took a ferry across the Bay of Fundy. It's gorgeous. Highly recommended. If you ever want to go on a cool road trip, you're not that far, dude. You just go up through New England. Maine is the longest part. You go through Maine, you're up, and you can take a ferry over, or you can just drive around. And I highly recommend it, man.
Yeah, maybe I'll do that before I die.
Dude,
But
definitely.
how did you did you like contact him over YouTube or something?
Oh
Or
yeah. We talk now and then, and I told him I was thinking of going up there, and I was like, let me know if I can maybe. I would love to meet you, and because we talk, and
Mhm.
like you, I love his site, and so and it turned out they were free, and it was cool. We could connect, so they met us. They met us in town. We went to a restaurant. So next
That
time.
is so cool.
Next time, dude, we're gonna come visit you, man. We're gonna come to Long Island. So, because my mom, I'm sure would love to see. My mom, for the viewers, my mom grew up near where Nick is growing up, and
Same
so,
exact town, about 8 minutes away, probably.
dude, that's crazy. And one of the things we did when we went on this trip is, my mom, when she was a kid, they used to go from Long Island to this place in Pine Hill, New York, which it's like upstate a little bit, and I took her by there because she kind of wanted to see it, and of course it's changed. It's totally changed since she was going there, but we saw it. The house is still there, and I seriously thought about checking you out, but the thing was, man, I was like, I did not want to do the New York traffic thing, and
Yeah.
I was trying to go around New York City.
I'm from Jamaica. I'm probably like a half hour to 40 minutes away from there.
Okay, okay.
It would have been out of the way if you were trying to get to Nova Scotia.
Well, we didn't even go through New York City. I intentionally bypassed New York City. I think I went through Pennsylvania to
Yeah,
go
you
around.
want to go through New York City.
I mean, it's like a hit or miss thing. You may not have traffic, but you might, so
Mm.
but still, dude, sometime I'm going to bring her up to Long Island, and I'd love to meet you. And totally, if you ever want to come down to Virginia, in fact, dude, you should do this. We're in Virginia, and we live in this frickin' resort. You should come down here and ski, dude. You're a skateboarder. Have you ever been snowboarding?
No, I haven't done any snow sports.
All right, dude, you should come down and hang with us for like a week or so this winter, and you can do some snowboarding, man. You'll love it. I don't snowboard. I ski a little bit, but we could go out there and get on the snow, man. You would love it.
You know what? That sounds like a great idea. I'm definitely gonna have that in my memory bank when it comes to winter.
Hell yeah, let's plan. We'll work something out, man. We'll work something out.
That's cool, man. So how have you been doing with the diet now? See,
Well, I have to confess, I haven't been that great. I mean,
Oreos.
I have eaten a few Oreos, yeah.
You dip
and
Oreos in olive oil.
not a ton of olive oil, but I've been eating a lot of hummus, which has a fair amount of oil, like store bought hummus,
Okay.
and so that's probably too high fat. And I've also been drinking a good bit of wine, so that's
Oh,
probably not very healthy. I'm doing pretty good on my romaine. I'm getting close to a head of romaine a day. I'm not eating as much fruit as I was, but I wanna shift back to that. I wanna go back to some banana smoothies because I've been doing. I like this. There's a what's that there's a whole wheat cereal that I've been eating
oh,
with rice, which is pretty good. It's like seven grains or something. Um,
greens.
but it's kashi.
Oh, okay. Yep.
Yeah, Takashi. It's autumn wheat, which I like. But I think I'm probably missing some nutrients because I've kind of reduced my fruit intake, and I'd like to get some fruit back in there. So I'm eating a lot of like I do eat a good bit of bread. I get like some quality bread, and I'll
Yep.
do like these tomato sandwiches. I'll put like Dijon mustard on them, like tomato sandwiches.
I made a sandwich just like that the other day with tomatoes, guacamole, and mustard. So
Dude, we are soul brothers,
are
man.
we are we both been up on a year soon?
Yeah, man. I think we're there, aren't we?
Yeah, because I know for a fact I was vegan on Thanksgiving, and I had a vegan cake for my birthday. So my birthday's October 2nd, so it is kind of in between that and Thanksgiving.
Oh hell yeah, dude! I think we did our first interview like a year ago, didn't we?
Um, I wouldn't say a full year.
Okay, okay,
Probably in like March or something.
all right. Well, anyway, I think it's got to be close to a year.
Yeah. No. Oh, there's someone I work with who she has this ulcer, and she sits next to me. We're good pals. We always talk, and she has an ulcer, but it's triggered. The pain is triggered by skins on fruit or vegetables, and it's weird. And then she drinks milk, and it makes her feel better.
Man, you know, this is the problem, man. I'm running into this with a friend of mine, and it's this principle of short term versus long term.
Yeah.
And you know, if you've got an established condition, you've got to change to the right diet for long enough so that the condition shifts so that you'll no longer have issues. Now, that's not to say, I mean, maybe this is some rare case where she'll always have issues with the skin of fruits, but I doubt it.
Weird.
It's probably that she's got other issues that have accumulated over time, and if she cleaned up her diet for long enough, the ulcer would probably disappear. Milk, milk I would call that a palliation of symptom. You drink milk, it's soothing her temporarily, but it's actually in the long run contributing to the problem.
Yeah, that's exactly what I thought. I like I know that because she drinks a lot of dairy, and I printed out. I was looking up articles to give her on the stomach, treating the stomach ulcers with a plant-based diet, and so I
Beautiful.
found I found one of McDougall's things called "Don't Burn Holes in Your Stomach." So I printed that out and gave it to her. But she's like it's the skin on the fruit thing that it's like the food she's supposed to be eating. she can't like she can blend it, but
Well, if she won't eat fruit, tell her to eat starches.
yeah, she has sweet potatoes every morning, and
Does
she's
she eat
she's
meat?
kind of half and half. Like
Does she eat meat?
no, no, well, she eats chicken, and she does the dairy and the eggs.
Okay. Yeah.
I know. I I feel like if she cut that stuff out, this fruit, it would just heal up the stomach where the skin wouldn't bother as much, because that stuff's always gonna keep a hole there in her stomach. It's not. It's probably like a short-term relief, but it's not gonna actually cure it.
Yeah, it's a great point, Nick. I will share with you a piece of information. I don't know, you may have already seen this. They did find that some ulcers are related to bacterial growth in the stomach, and
Mm.
so they found that you could treat some ulcers with antibiotics. But I agree with you. If she, I mean, she could try a round of antibiotics to get rid of it, but if she keeps doing the same diet, it'll probably come back.
And that's why I told her. I told her that dairy she drinks all the time is really acidic to the stomach. It just brings out all that acid and is not really helping anything. I just want. I wish she could go on like maybe a milk. I don't know. You think a milk alternative would coat the stomach too?
Yeah, tell her to try that. Yeah, that's try. Tell her to try soy milk, rice milk, something like that. That's a good idea.
'Cause I know those are a little bit thinner. Like they're not as like thick as cow's milk.
Yeah,
Uh,
another possibility would be coconut milk,
Coconut milk, right? That's pretty thick.
and it's also loaded with minerals. If I'm not mistaken.
Yeah, so I've just been yeah, not only that, but she has like a doctor that's telling her that she'll never last as a vegan. So it's like a battle kind of thing. It's like, oh my God, like I gotta it, it's it I'm just glad she's open to it. Like I gave her the Forks Over Knives DVD, so
Dude,
I
dude,
watch.
the fact that she's like even taking an article from you is so awesome. That's great.
Surprising considering she's like in her late 50s too. So you think like most people that age wouldn't even be open to this stuff. So
Yeah,
she
that's
has a
good.
very youthful soul.
That's good, man. You're a missionary.
Yeah, I'm trying to, it's I'm not. It's like if people, like she always asks me this stuff, so I'm gonna help. Like I'm not gonna push it on people. Some people are happy destroying their bodies for some reason. Dude, there's someone I work with who doesn't eat any fruits or vegetables. He says he hates them.
And he's proud of it. He's proud of it, right?
And he gets sick every month, probably every 3 weeks or something. And he's like, oh, I always get this, like as if it's like something that's supposed to happen to him, like
Dude,
a
dude,
natural thing.
you are hitting the nail on the head. Like it's this great mystery.
Yeah.
It's somehow come from outside and it's visited upon me. I mean, yes, it's because you're eating crap, brother.
Yeah. He's always like, oh, I hate when I have a stuffy nose. He's like, it's that, like you always hear, it's that time of the season again. It's like, dude, like he eats no fruits. Just he has like a bacon, egg, and cheese every day. And let me say, he's thin. He's thinner than me probably. So I don't know. He's probably has all sorts of problems going on inside of him.
Oh, they'll come. He can count on it. He'll have problems later on
I
if he keeps it up.
I've never had a bacon, egg, and cheese in my life, but just hearing those three things, like yeah, I thought bacon was bad, but then add egg and cheese on it too. It's like an insane combination. It's like people have bacon, egg, cheese, turkey, chicken sandwiches. But people do eat that.
Oh man,
It's so weird how the animals that we were brought up to believe as being food animals, it branches out to alligators and kangaroos, and people are comfortable eating the other exotic kinds like duck and dog or whatever, because they think an animal is an animal, so I'm gonna eat every single kind, and they think it's awesome, or they're like totally like dominating because they're eating these animals. It's like like I saw a picture. Someone said kangaroo tacos, and there was a picture of it. It was like it's crazy what eating a cow can lead to.
you know, you know what's so funny about that, Nick, is I remember. You remember there was a fast food restaurant. It was called Jack in the Box. There's actually still Jack in the Box,
Mm-hmm.
and we had one in where I grew up, and there was this. I don't know if this was a rumor, if it was substantiated or what, but there was like this rumor that a big shipload of meat had come in, and somebody found out it was kangaroo meat, and there was this, and this was for the Jack in the Box, and this was the big outcry that the public was so incensed that it was this kangaroo meat, and I'm like, now looking back on it, why are you so concerned about the kangaroos, but you're not concerned about the cows? Why is it okay that it's cow meat, but it's not okay that it's kangaroo meat? I mean, you
It's
know?
it's just the tradition. It's so weird. Like how like that person that I sit next to I was talking about. She is so compassionate towards animals, but she she'll say if anyone ever hurts an animal, like I'm gonna kill them. Like I'd kill a human before an animal. But like the food on her plate is bad for her. It's killing chickens and cows and stuff. And I gave her, and just because I knew how compassionate she was, I printed out like a short article on what happens to the dairy cows and the calves, and she was crying after she read it.
Oh, dude, you see? Yeah.
And I told her before I gave it to her, I'm like, you don't have to read it, and you don't have to change anything. Like I just want you to know because I think it's going against what you believe in, and
I'm glad you said that, Nick. That's a great way to talk to somebody about it. It's like I'm not trying to force change on you. I just want you to be aware of what's going on. I love that.
yeah, that's how I come at it with everybody pretty much. I just want them to know and plant the seed, and then whenever it's always going to be in the back of their mind, and the like these compassionate people, like they gotta, like the only thing holding them back is tradition and just something they're used to.
That's
It's
so huge, Nick. That's so huge. And you just you print these articles off your own computer. You just print them out and take them to work.
because my work involves sitting in front of a computer for 8 hours. So unfortunately, so when I have free time, I just Google them and print them out.
Beautiful, beautiful.
And I still have people at my job, like I said, I told you before, like after I went vegan out of nowhere, everyone wants to show me what they're eating and what they're putting on it, and what they made the other night. I'm like, oh yeah, wow, because they want some kind of approval. So one of my coworkers, they made a baked potato. She was like, Nick, I'm having a baked potato today. I'm like, oh, that's great. And then she mentioned like sour cream. I was like, oh, oh, good for you. and then and then she's like, yeah, but I know you probably don't like that. I'm having sour cream with it. I'm like, yeah, it's all right. No,
Dude,
I
I mean, that just shows you it's a delicate tightrope to walk through that. It's like you want to encourage them, and they think they're doing so good, and
yeah,
then, I
I
mean,
don't.
people don't get this fat connection. The fat thing, it's not yet understood. I like this. Have you ever seen this? It's a lecture from Esselstyn, and he's yelling out to the audience,
No
"No oil!"
oil. Yes, I shout that out around my house, and my brother repeats it too. Yeah, I love that. But
Yeah, I mean, but it's like people don't get that yet. It's not. It's funny because maybe 20 years ago there was this big no fat thing,
mhm.
and it's funny how American culture goes through these cycles, and they're like, oh well, we've been there and we've done the no fat thing. Now we're gonna embrace fat, uh, but it's harmful. So
I honestly think that's because of the government just subsidizing this stuff. Like I saw a picture, like they spend $550 million to advocate eating animal products, which is all high fat. So they're gonna say that the carbs are bad because you spend money on carbs. You're not spending money on the stuff they want you to buy. So of
right.
course they're gonna use that to make you think that the fat is good. Eat fat, you'll never get fat.
I took my mom to a doctor this morning, a general practitioner, and they had some charts on the wall, one of which was useful. It was like a BMI, if for this height, then you're normal, or you're overweight, or you're obese. That was kind of useful. But then they had this other chart. It was kind of like the current pyramid or the current food recommendations, and they've got a whole section devoted to dairy products. So they still haven't quite got the right tune on the dairy product thing.
Yeah, I know. Yeah, it's like a big brainwash pretty much. They even got the doctors into it and people in the health field. Like they say, we have a food industry that doesn't care about our health and the health industry that doesn't care about food. And then it's
That is,
so true.
I've never heard that. That's an awesome line. Say that again.
It's We have a food industry that doesn't care about health, but a health industry that does not care about food. It's totally ass backwards here. It's,
That is classic. Yeah, exactly. Exactly.
yeah, it's I always think it's money and greed is what got us here in the first place into this predicament.
Yeah, I think that's true. I think, and it's like this strong money incentive, and then people are kind of indoctrinated from a very young age to think that these foods are normal, and then there's sentimental value. I mean, Christmas, Thanksgiving, and my mom used to make this great chicken dish, and it's so deeply embedded into
Of course.
psychology.
That's like one of the most like spiritual times for us is when we sit down to eat. It's family, it's social gatherings and stuff. It's like our home. So it's like to tell like to go against that. It's a lot of work because a lot
That's
of emotions deep inside you got to battle to change.
That's such a great point, Nick. That's exactly right. It's exactly right. It's like deeply embedded familial connections and memories. Smell. Like some people, you can remember having a smell of cooking chicken when you're a little kid, and your mom's taking care of you. Especially if you have like loving parents
Dude, I came
serving you.
home. I came home today, and my brother's making a frozen pizza, which I always ate when I was younger, and I came out, I'm like, wow, it smells really good. What is that? And I'm like, oh, it's a pizza. I was like, that happens to me all the time. Like if someone's having a hamburger or French fries at work or something like animal products, I'm like, oh, that smells good. And then the person next to me is like, well, that's hamburger. I'm like, well, I don't care. It still smells good.
Dude, I love the honesty of that. I love the honesty of that, Nick. I mean, that's yeah. I think it's really hard to get beyond that. Yeah.
Like when I look at when I like go out to eat pizza with my family, like I go out to eat a lot, so I'm always around other people's food. So when I see like pizza in front of me, I'm like, wow, like I remember exactly how the texture was on my tongue and what it tasted like and how it smells and how good it may feel. And the only thing that holds me back from eating it is the ethical side of things, and and just thinking about economically like damaging the environment and myself. That's one of the things that keep me away from it. Like I I get random urges to have like goldfish or like hot cheese with pretzels or something. It's like what? Why am I even feeling like that? Like I know I'm not gonna ever eat it again, but that still comes. Like it's probably gonna take a while for it to go away. So
Yeah, there's a lot of comfort food that has cheese in it, and there is a kind of a satiation that occurs with that. But like, I'm sure have you had pizzas with just without the cheese? You can do that.
you know, I did that so many times. I was known for doing that, taking the cheese off the pizza and just eating the bread and the sauce. Like I've actually had I used to. That's another thing. I would every Friday was pizza day, so that was a thing. So I would go to my grandparents' house and have pizza. And one time I had my grandpa order a pie with no cheese on it.
Yeah. Oh, dude, you can do
Love
that. You can
it.
do that.
I always hated the cheese. It always seemed like I don't know. It didn't. I didn't like the stringiness or how thick it was. Like I'd always hate extra cheese. Like I want it really thin or not there at all.
Right, and you know what? Actually, the real Italian pizza is not loaded with cheese like that.
I heard Carlos say that before in one of your interviews. I thought that was crazy. Like most stuff, how it began didn't have all this cheese or
Yeah, the best pizza is like, well, to me, I mean, this is a personal preference, but there are some pizzas you can get that are like a very thin crust, and
yeah.
they have a few vegetables on them, maybe a little olive oil. You don't have to have that, of course, but you could have some spices on it. That stuff is beautiful, man.
Oh yeah.
Now, I probably would drink it with a glass of wine, I have to confess.
Dude, there's nothing wrong with that. The question is the wine vegan?
Yeah, that's right. That's right. And I haven't really investigated that. I've got to look into that more. I'm not too careful about that.
Yeah, 'cause you know me. I don't. I'm only looking out for you 'cause I you're a good friend. So I only pick on people that I'm close with. I don't
No,
go up to
dude.
random people and say, you can't have olive oil. As long as it's vegan, I don't give a shit what you're eating.
No, it's cool. You just call me out. Call me out, man. I sometimes need a kick in the rear end, just like anybody else. Yeah.
I do that with my mom all the time when she's making eggs in the morning. I bring up the chicks being thrown in the garbage. She's like, "Oh, that's so terrible! Don't tell me that." And I tell her that it all comes out the same hole: the poop hole, the pee hole, the egg hole. It's all the same. But I'm only I it's cause I'm so close with her. Like I feel like I can say this stuff. Like if it's some random person. I can't. I'm never gonna do it.
No, it's cool, man, and I know what you're up against. I think it's cool that she lets you talk to her like that. It's cool. She doesn't just tune you out. That's good.
I'm pretty. No, she does tune me out. She doesn't want to hear it. But it's like she had cancer, so I feel like it's my duty to say something.
Dude, yeah, I hear you. I hear you. Yeah.
It is. It is.
It's a challenge, man. It's an uphill battle. It's an uphill battle communicating vegan principles to an animal eating public. It is an uphill battle.
Yeah, but it just.
But it's turning. It's turning. You know, with folks like McDougall, Colin Campbell, you cannot hold this information down.
Yeah, I know. I know tons of people who they're not vegan, but they've seen like so many people who have Netflix. Like they've seen Forks Over Knives and Fat, Sick, and Nearly Dead, or other uh, plant-based movies like that.
Yeah.
Or whatever. Yeah, they watch it. I mean, they don't change, but it's like they're really getting the message out there. It's
Yeah, some people change, yeah. So, yeah. It's I think it's got enough momentum now that it's kind of unstoppable. I think we're very close to a shift.
yeah, because I always what if everyone was a little bit vegan, like vegan like 6 days of the 7 day week, like wouldn't that like the demand for the animal products and or just the the like the damn it, the slaughterhouses they wouldn't continue what they're doing as much anymore if people were buying less. I try not to get mad when people like understand veganism and they're like a little bit vegan, but they're definitely vegetarian. So like they'll have like eggs once in a while or milk once in a while.
Yeah.
But it's like if everybody was like that, it wouldn't be as bad as it is now.
Oh, it would be huge. It would be huge. And then you could even consider the possibility of actually having a humane dairy production. I mean, maybe I know some vegans would argue that's not possible, and maybe it's not. But I think like in India, they were pretty humane in the way they raised cows, and not that I think dairy products are a healthy food, but if it was a way that you could get people off meat,
Hmm.
if you could transition into a compassionate dairy production industry, and the availability of dairy products enable people to give up meat, that I would favor that. I mean, of course, in the end, I would favor getting rid of it all and just going totally plant-based. But it's like any way to move people away from the worst animal products and just gradually shift them over.
Yeah, because where we're at right now, there are people that aren't even vegetarian, and that is no good. Like it doesn't even matter if someone's vegan like 80% of the time, they're not fully there yet. That's good. We'll leave them alone, and then we have to kind of get to the people who aren't even vegetarian yet. Kind of. I think I mean, I may be wrong, but I feel like a gradual like scaring them into going 100% vegan. Um, you know, I think there's people that have it a lot worse than people who are sometimes vegan.
Yeah, yeah, and I was talking to, I don't know if you saw my interview with I think it's James Albritton the other day, but
Yeah, I love that guy. He's the only raw food guy I care to watch.
he's cool, man. That dude is laid back, man. I love that dude.
And we're very similar. He shoots surfing videos and I shoot skateboarding videos. So
That's cool, man.
good
That's
job.
cool.
Yeah, I'm very familiar with him. What are you gonna say about the interview?
Well, I just liked what he said about hunters. If a hunter goes and kills a deer, I gotta say, it's hard for me to understand why anyone gets pleasure out of that. Um,
Yeah.
at the same time, I realize that there's a deer overpopulation problem. I'll say that for any hunters that ever happen to view this. But 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 aside from all that, a hunter who kills a deer and stocks his freezer with deer meat and eats that instead of buying cows that have been chopped up in this factory farming industry.
Mhm.
These hunters are a hell of a lot better than suburbanites who are buying, steaks and burgers
Yeah,
at the
just from
grocery
the
store.
supermarket. Yeah. I feel like if everyone had to hunt to get their meat and without like with there being plant-based options already around, I think people wouldn't even want to hunt, if they had to. It's the freaking um animal agriculture industry that just keeps people contributing to so much damage and to the earth and animals and themselves without them even having to really kill the animals themselves, Like
Exactly,
if they had to, they probably wouldn't.
exactly.
And sometimes I say like the old like if we had to kill animals, eat them to survive. Like if there were no plant-based options around, and you needed to kill an animal and eat it to live, I would say that 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 would be all right
Sure, sure. Yeah, I
because
mean,
you're
and you
killing
can
an
say,
animal, you're killing another human being to get your food. So that's the only way I could see it justifiable. I
yeah,
mean,
and
it's still wrong, but I mean, if there's no other plant-based options.
yeah, and you know what, Nick? I think that's actually what happened. For man, woman, man, as we evolved out of Africa,
Hmm.
we come out of this tropical environment where there's plentiful fruit, and we get into these climates where you don't have fruit all the time. You got to start eating other things,
Yeah.
and so you start eating starches and you start eating animals, and those things enabled us to survive, and they enabled us to spread human beings all over the globe, even as in crazy environments like Alaska. I mean, there's crazy environments where humans would not live unless they had these adaptive capabilities. The only thing is, you have all these negative drawbacks from making these compromises. So
Mhm.
the further you get away from that original natural diet, the more health problems you have. But uh, the nice thing about modern times is now we have shipping. We've got grocery stores all over the planet. You can get all the produce you want
No
anytime you want.
excuse. There's no excuse to 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 keep buying animal products when you can survive off so much more now.
Exactly, exactly.
But it's just deeply embedded tradition and comfort. But I mean, I'm I'm trying one person at a time. I'm trying
Dude,
to get
that's
people.
so good. I mean, that's the key.
Got my mom on almond milk. Um, I try to get my friends on it too. Like that's why I'm psyched. They have so many options now. It makes me wonder why are they putting all these milk alternatives in these super big chain corporate supermarkets? Like, is it because the vegans demanded it, or are they just doing it because it's cool? You know, I don't know, but I'm just happy that they have. So every time I see them, every time I see like all the different milks, I just want to buy them all, even though I don't even drink the milks that much. It's just like
That's so
I
cool.
want more money to go into the stuff.
I hear you, man. I hear you.
I really
Yeah,
do. It's not what you buy. It's what it's it's not it's not what they sell, it's what you buy.
That's huge. That's
That
huge. You know, that's really a big argument, I think, in the raw community. One of the strong reasons
the raw community.
for promoting, I think, for promoting raw is that you know, people complain about the price of fruit and that sort of thing. You're not going to get low prices until you get the kind of demand necessary to bring the price down.
Yeah,
So if you were to get like major quantities of people starting to eat large quantities of fruit, you'd start getting a hell of a lot more orchards being developed, and the price would come down. So I think that's a valid argument.
and there's so much we have to do in terms of shifting the demand I of course we gotta focus on just getting people to buy vegan products, but then eventually we're gonna have to focus on getting all organic because um,
Yeah.
I don't think it is sustainable to eat you know, I really don't know much about this stuff. I've just heard that it won't be sustainable to. It's not. It's it's not productive to eat for the farmers too to eat like the non-organic fruits and
Yeah.
vegetables.
Well, there's a lot of problems with it. One of the problems is you deplete the soil.
Okay.
So you know, if you grow vegetables and you just put I think it's 10-10-10. 10-10-10 is the fertilizer that farmers have used for, like, you know, the past 100 years. I don't know how long, but it's
Right. Right.
basically this basic ratio of uh, minerals that are required to grow plants. And because they just do 10-10-10, that's like 3 minerals, and there's no trace minerals. There's no sophistication in it. So they grow these vegetables, plants of all varieties in this 10-10-10 fertilizer, and because the fertilizer has the 10-10-10, the plants have to get everything else from the soil.
Mm.
So the plants take every last scintilla of nutrient out of that soil. You go for a couple of years growing crops, and you got nothing left in that soil. So if you do a natural organic composting operation, you're constantly putting this stuff back in the soil, and so you get this much richer, dense nutrient constituents within the products that you're growing in the soil.
Mm-hmm.
And the folks, you know, I need to understand this better myself. Permaculture, I don't fully understand, but
Yeah.
permaculture is all about this. It's about healthy soil that's sustainable. And I think you're so right on this. You know, organic farming. Now, a cool thing, you talk about farmers markets. A cool thing, I went to a farmers market about a month or so ago, and I was buying a couple of items, and there were actually people there who had gone organic because it was cheaper for them to do so. That,
Ah.
that's really good. That's really good, because if that starts happening, if it's cheaper for them to be organic, and then we get the better produce, that's a huge shift.
I know. It makes me so happy hearing about that stuff. Like I'm so hopeful it's gonna happen one day. Like we're gonna.
It
There
is, man.
might have to be a great devastation happening first, but I
It
mean,
is, and you know, dude, you should go to more of these farmers markets, because
oh,
those,
without a doubt, I am. I'm
yeah,
gonna
these
keep
are
going.
these folks are on the front lines, and they'll educate you about what they're doing. And another thing you should look into is like a co-op. You know, there's these local farm co-ops where you can be a member, and you can get like produce either delivered once a week or pick it up once a week, and now you do have to pay. So you pay like either an annual or a monthly fee, but once you're in this co-op, it means you're entitled to like all this local high quality produce. So And
Right.
I bet up there on Long Island, I bet you got a ton of options in that regard. Not everybody does.
I'm definitely gonna Google this after and figure that out, the co-op stuff. Yeah, I gotta.
Yeah,
Yeah.
look at like local farming cooperative or there might be other names for it like group farm initiative or it's probably got a variety of names. If you go to your you could go to a do you guys have a Whole Foods near you?
Uh, yeah, yeah. We have some like about 35, 40 minutes away though.
Okay. Or even one of these farmers markets. Go there and ask around, and somebody will probably be able to give you some stuff on it. And anybody watching this, contact Nick. Let him know. So and let me know. Yeah.
Hmm. Yeah, but yeah, I don't want to overwhelm people with the fine
Yeah. Let me
organic stuff.
yeah. Let me end this because we've gone on, man. Let's end this and folks that hung with us. Thank you for watching. I know we went over a lot of different stuff. I'll end it now. Let's say adios,
Okay.
and we'll see you guys next time.
Bye, everybody. Thanks for watching.